And how you feeling, man?
Thank you for having me as a guest, man. And yeah, I feel pretty great. Weather's kind of bad, it's perfect time to produce. So I really like producing in bad weather. Like when it's raining, thunder, I love producing in those like
Where
kind
do
of
you
weathers.
where do you live?
Germany, South Germany.
By the way, I love love Germany. I spent some
Oh, you been
time.
there before?
Yeah, I spent some time in Berlin, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I saw pictures. You had a workshop, right, in Berlin.
yep.
I saw pictures. Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
I
Yeah.
should have known. I should have known that you stayed out there. I would have reached out to you. But next time I'm out there. But I really like. I really fell in love with Berlin. I stayed somewhere close to to like where all the shops are and everything. But I
Mhm.
love the culture, and the food was amazing, and the art. Like, you guys are very artistic out there, man. It's like a melting pot, man. Yeah, it's great. So
Nice to
how?
hear that, because every time people ask me, how do you like America, and nobody tells me how they like Germany, so it's pretty cool to like hear it from the other side.
Yeah, it's great. So a lot of these guys in here are probably familiar with what you do, and um, the stuff that you've done. But just for those of these guys here who don't, why don't you just give them a little bit of like rundown of maybe some records you produced, and how long you've been doing this, just a little backstory on how you got started.
Mm. So yeah, man, Palace Playaway Mafia, and yeah, I started producing when I was like, damn, let me think, 2012.
Hmm.
And at 2014 or 15, I got like signed to like Skrillex label. Back then, when I made EDM music, I worked mainly as a ghost producer, and I think it's like super funny that nowadays people don't know that there's really ghost producing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and I started making like EDM and stuff. I got three pretty big songs. Like one is really big, but like all the contracts, I really can't say anything. And yeah, and this is how I started. And then I got super finessed with the contracts, like super finessed.
Hmm.
I got like this one song got around like 50 million plays, the other one got like 60 million plays. And back then I got like 500 bucks for it.
Wow.
And I was like, I was like, fuck it, it was my job. I was at school. So I just was keep going with it. And then when I was like 17, 16, I started going out to parties and listening to hip hop music,
Yeah.
because they didn't play EDM, it's the time where you're like, yo, like, we need to go out with the boys, get some girls.
Exactly,
And
and when you're coming up as a producer like that, it's like you got a couple hit records, and it's like you just want to, it feels good. It feels good.
Mhm. So when I was 17, when I started going to parties, I realized, oh shit, they didn't play Skrillex stuff to the EDM here. And yeah, I listened to a lot of hip hop music, and yeah, this is probably like how I was introduced to like hip hop music, because you always listen to like hip hop music, but like never, it was never my thing. And then I super fell in love with it. Like I listened to like albums like Black Stars, and I was like, yo, this is actually crazy. I mean, like,
Yeah.
but like my whole family just listens to like trance, EDM, so yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this is when I started making beats too, because like music was always like something I always did when I came home, just like having fun and stuff. And then when I realized, and it was like 2017, I jumped on this sample wave because I was super ass at drums. My drums were super bad because
Hmm.
I didn't have the bounce. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I can really good. I'm really good at like making melodies. And this is when I started like sending like melodies out. Like the first producer I sent melodies out was probably Big Head. Like Big Head from Gucci Gang.
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
familiar. Nice.
yeah, and
Well,
yeah,
so
and he
then,
was the
so
first.
you were doing, you started melodies. You said like in 2017 was when you started really getting into it.
Yeah, yeah. 2017 was like the time where I like was only doing melodies. Before I was doing beats, but they really sucked, and I was like, all right, fuck it. I just gotta do what I can do the best.
Yeah,
So
and I think the melody, you know, stuff has really opened the door for a lot of producers, a lot of people, and like I think it's really interesting that you know, started in the EDM space, fell in love with with hip hop music, and like the way that you've been able to adapt is really really special, man. So tell us about your beginning journey of like the sample creating stuff and what you did back in 2017 to put, you know, put essentially put yourself on, because a lot of people that are tuned in right now I know are producers that are also interested in creating samples and sending them to people. And then tell us about how you linked up with, you know, Southside and 808 Mafia and those guys.
mhm. All right, so basically, there's a German producer called Alecto, and he signed right now to Cash Gang. And I was hitting him up, and I was like, "Yo, I have $20. You wanna do a collab?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we did a collab together, and I fucked up the drums, but did a crazy melody on it. And he was like, "Yo, you're really good at making melodies. You should consider like making loops." And I was like, "How do you mean loops?" Because I didn't knew there's like this loop thing going on. And then I looked into Cubeats, what they were doing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so they're sending out melodies, and the other one, I just realized how collabing works. And I didn't know that it's so like present in hip hop music too, because in EDM it's crazy. We're sending files back and forth all the time. And this is when I realized, okay, people want the melodies. Then I started making like sample packs, and I looked up just emails from like Big Head, like Wheezy. Like Wheezy was one of the first ones I worked with. And yeah, so I just did the melodies, sent it out, and people told me, "Yo, this is crazy." And I was like, I don't know. For me, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, you were just sending them out like hopefully they like it and we'll see what happens. So when you were hitting up Wheezy and all these guys, how were you hitting them up? Was this like through Instagram, like DM or whatever, or like how were you hitting them up?
I looked at archive.com and looked at the old tweets, if any of those old tweets have an email in there. And so I found out the original emails of those people, the ones that they really use till this day. And this is how I found out all the emails, just like archive, going way back machine or something, going to 2017, 2016 and stuff, and finding out the emails. This is how I did it.
Amazing. Dude, that's crazy. So it sounds like you really like went out of your way to do research and hit these guys up, cuz like to be able to get to the point where you are now, you literally started with nothing and no relationships. And the fact that you know, built up this
Yeah.
sample library and we're reaching out to these people. So for the upcoming producer now who is trying to do something similar, would you recommend doing the same thing, like something similar, just like shoot your shot, maybe shoot a DM or try to find some email addresses from some of these people?
To be honest, don't go for DMing, because like I thought this was the way too. Till I got big by myself, and I was like, yo, DMing is not the way.
Yeah.
DMing is definitely not the way. I got like so many DMs, so much random bullshit that I don't really check it anymore, to be honest. I like casually, when nothing is going on, I'm super bored, I'm gonna check the spam folder. And yeah, so emails are better. And what I also did, I went to like to concerts here in Germany when they had festivals and shit, sneaked in the background and like gave everybody USB sticks, with like the producers gave like sample USB sticks. And yeah,
Nice. So
this was
networking
really
and
good.
networking in person is also a big thing too. So do you
Oh
travel?
yeah, networking first, yeah.
Do you travel at all, like to the U.S.? I mean, obviously, right now, no one's traveling really, but do you come to America sometimes and network with people in person?
Oh yeah, definitely. Mostly in LA. Always with like Southside, Pyrex, and like with the whole 808 Mafia gang. And yeah, traveling is essential. People need to see your face, not only your sound. If they have the sound, they want to see a face to it. And it's super important that every year, at least 1 or 2 times, I'm going over to the US and like showing myself.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Tell me about your workflow with South Side and all those guys? Like, are you making melodies and then sending them every day, once a week, once a month? Like, what's your process for that?
To be honest, because it's like creative work, you can't really say like how much I'm sending. I'm just making a pack. When it's finished, I'm sending it over. I'm not stressing myself out. I know in the first months, like on the first 3 or 4 months of like signing to 808, after like 4 months, I got anxiety and panic attacks because I super overworked myself, like super overworked myself. Yeah, it was funny to deal with that shit too, you know. It was it was super good that I got panic attacks and anxiety because like I learned like, oh, okay, we have a limit, you know, the human mind has a limit. Because I was super dumb, I was making samples 20 hours a day, 5 hours sleeping, and this for a month straight, and I was like, all right, we have limits, we are humans, you know. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty chill about it. When I feel inspired, I make music. When I don't feel inspired, I don't do shit. Don't even open it. Don't even try it, you know. I just come back and forth and like this. I think this is the way, you know. And when it comes to like a week, I think I make like 20 samples a week, you know. Now
That's
with like
that's
a
amazing.
full chill tempo, you know. But I'm super linking up with a lot of people. What helps me a lot is like linking up with other session pianists, linking up with guitar players, going to different studios, and yeah. So this is how I found the way of like how I get like more creativity, you know, being with different people.
So collaboration is a big part of it too.
Oh yes, it's super important. Collaboration is super important.
Amazing. So, there's the sample wave is no longer a wave. It's a tidal. It's a tsunami at this point, right? So, what's your what's your advice for producers that are watching this right now and they're telling themselves, well, I want to get into the sample game, or maybe I've been making some loops and I really want to try to create some relationships with some producers and get my foot out there, maybe even release sample packs. What are some like simple steps or like simple things that you've learned when you were coming up, that people can either avoid or try to implement in their process that you think would help them to at least get started to pursue that?
Oh yes, because it's like the market is so like overloaded. The number one important thing, the number one thing is relationships. Relationships are like, you know, it's super overloaded. The only thing that really like saves me right now, because there are thousands of people that are talented out there, is that I'm built those relationships like since 2017, you know. And when you come up nowadays, it's fucking hard. I don't really know, man. But I think like if it's really your dream, you will always find a way, you know. But the thing is, how I would do it now, I really don't know because it's so saturated, you know. When I did the sample thing in 2017, it was a lot easier, you know. So it's pretty hard how I would start again. But like going out and like linking up in person is probably the most important thing right now, because everybody can shoot like an email with like samples in there. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that makes
you need to
sense.
go out relationships.
Relationships again. So I speak about relationships a lot, when I do interviews and stuff, and I think I'm always really putting a lot of focus on how people should practice or just do research, maybe read some books on like what are some good ways to create relationships with people. And there's no right or wrong answer. I think like it just comes down to maybe like your personality. Like if you're a good human being, then people want to be around you, and if you're an asshole, then people don't, right? So
What I one thing that I always do is when I have like the first placement with this producer for the first time, like let's say my first placement ever was like Sledgerin, you know. We went on the Wiz Khalifa album, and this was my first placement. And every time I got a first placement with somebody, I always make a big gift package with like German sweets and ship it over as a thank you, you know. So I mean, like
that's
just
dope. That's fire.
yeah, just be cool about it, you know. Those we are all humans, you know. We don't want to have fun, and like you know, it's like just be yourself, you know. Don't fake shit, but like don't write every day, you know. I'm super close with people that I text only like every 2 weeks once, you know, but we're super close. But the thing is, like, people try to do too much, you know. They're like sending me like texts like this, you know, on IG, and I'm like, yo, bro, you know, I know, like, I know you're really trying, but like, this is not the way, you know, spamming me and shit. But
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And you
yeah,
also have to keep in mind that like these people that we know and collaborate with have their own lives as well, personal lives. Like they don't always
yeah,
like other producers. Like if you make loops and you send loops to producers, they're not necessarily in the studio 24/7. They're like sometimes they don't want to make beats, right?
yeah, true. I mean, like, just like I said, when I don't feel it, I don't make beats. And yeah, you guys need to know, like, being a producer in those times is super stressful. There are times where my sister comes to me and says, like, yo, why didn't you respond to the text that I sent you 5 days ago? And I'm like, oh shit, you sent me a text 5 days ago, you know? I'm like, oh fuck, you know, this is like, this happens so often, so fucking often, even with my family. So you guys, if it's my family and I love my family, like, to everything, you know? But like, if this even happens with my family, you guys need to know it really happens with other producers, you know?
Yeah,
Because
it's
there's so
true.
much stuff going around.
Yeah, you just have to be careful, man. So Palace, first of all, like me and you gotta work. We gotta do some shit. But the second
Oh,
thing,
we made this one, right?
which one? Oh yeah, we did. We did the
Yeah,
ocarina
we actually did.
by accident, but it worked out because I'm glad it was you. But what I was gonna say was, you know, I know you're working with a lot of different people, and you know, you're just like continuing to just brand yourself and everything. So in terms of social media, we'll just say Instagram, right? Instagram is a big tool for a lot of producers to, you know, show their brand and maybe post up beats and do what they do. So what would be your piece of advice for some of these up and coming producers on, you know, how to approach Instagram? Like, should they be posting beats every day? Should they post up selfies? Should they post up, you know, anything else? Like, do you have any advice on you know Instagram and how to brand yourself?
So yeah, how I do it is like, I don't post shit. I don't post any melodies. I don't post beats, and I really rarely like post like stuff on IG. I try to make this, oh shit, like, when he's going, when does he go live again? When does he post the picture again? You know, I try to make it less, you know, because my how I feel about it is like, less is more, you know. When you post every day, like 5 beats on Dropbox, and you can keep scrolling with those beats, it's not interesting anymore, you know. People like this, oh shit, like this mysterious thing, you know, going on. And this is why Qubits is so super successful. Like, you never see a story from them, you never see a post from them unless it's a placement, you know. And but like, it depends on your character. It really depends on your character, what you feel. And for me, I don't fuck a lot with social media, and that's why I don't post a lot of stories, because like, it's like waste of time, you know. Who I try to impress? The only thing that I want to like do is like have a lot of money for me and my family, build something, and, you know, and have a career, you know. I don't give a fuck if like 20 bitches follow me or liking my pictures. I don't give a fuck about that, you know. I don't give a fuck about going out on dates, you know. I just want to make music. I have the opportunity of my life. If I don't use this opportunity that like God gave me, I'm fucking dumb when I spend it on like bitches or going out here, showing myself in the club. Bro, I don't go nowhere. I just make music, you know. I just make music. If I don't make music, I go hit the gym. If I don't hit the gym, I play Xbox, you know. So who the fuck cares?
Easy,
You know what
simple,
I mean?
simple. I love that, man. I love that, and I think a lot of people needed to hear that because I feel that, you know, some producers feel this like pressure that they have to just always, you know, put themselves out there when, you know, at the end of the day, if that's not what aligned with your interests, then why do it? You know, so yeah. So guys, listen, Palace, thank you for joining us. I just wanted you to stop by real quick, talk to these, you know, guys and girls here, man. You have a lot of fans in here. They really admire what you do. You're killing it, and
I appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah,
I saw
man,
the chat, man. Your community is fucking lit, bro.
it's
I saw
cool.
the chat. So much love, man. So much love. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And hopefully, you know, one day we can link up at some point, man. I'm definitely planning on going to Germany at some point.
Man, when you come to Germany, just contact me, man. Just contact me when you're in Germany.
I will.
We'll link up.
I will. All right, guys, give a round of applause. Throw some emotes, some stickers, some bombs for my boy Pvlace. 808 Mafia in here. Clap it up. Let's go. All right. Pvlace, I'll hit you soon. Thank you for taking the time, bro.
Thanks, man.
All right, my G.
Bye-bye.
Peace.